Good morning everyone, Val here, and this morning's breakfast is 2 rice cakes with peanut butter, cream honey, and banana, and I have my vitamins and my water. And it was a rough night last night. Between my knee and my back was aching last night. It was hard to get to sleep. I had to get up and get some ibuprofen and go back to sleep, and I just kind of stayed a little restless. But I spent a lot of time in the back in the craft room yesterday editing videos and working on crafts, and I think just sitting in those chairs and not moving around a whole lot, it took a toll on my back, on my lower back. I'm going out this morning. I'm going to get a massage. It was scheduled anyway. It wasn't like I scheduled it, but I took a really hot shower this morning, so my back isn't quite as bad as it was yesterday afternoon or yesterday evening. But my goodness, am I getting old or something? I don't know. Seems like, well, my back has always been an issue, but I really strained it yesterday just by not getting up and moving around a little. I need to move around a little bit more. Of course, I did, like make a pie. I was cleaning the kitchen. I did, it's not like I didn't move at all. I don't know. Old age, I guess. Anyway, we did get another storm last night. It rained, which was good because it watered the garden, but, there's flooding all over now. Not here. We don't have any flooding here, but you hear of all these places, New York and Pennsylvania and North Carolina and Southern Virginia, and you're just hearing every place is having flash floods. And there's a neighborhood where we used to live, before we moved here, they had some flooding. And it's just crazy, all this flooding going on, Texas and Tennessee, and crazy, just crazy. So prayers out to everybody who's dealing with flood, flash flood because of all this rain this year, flash flood conditions. We are faring pretty well through it. I mean, we're getting sunshine during the day pretty much, and then our thunderstorms roll in about 6 or 7 at night. And just, kind of cool everything down, water the garden good, and move on their way. They may last, maybe they last half an hour, maybe they last an hour, but they don't stick around. They just keep on passing through. So we're good with that. I'm kind of stressing out. I don't know that it's called stressing out, but a little bit of anxiety, I guess, about all of my crafts. I want my crafts to be a hobby, and I want, to make a little money off my hobby. That's fine to do that. But when it starts becoming a business, I don't want it to be a business. I've never had the intentions of having it a business where I have to do it every day. And that's what it's becoming. And I am not sure what to do about that. I'm kind of like searching my brain, because it seems like as fast as I'm making things, they're being sold. Which, that's kind of the point of it, but I don't want to have to be making things that fast. So, or people want this or want that. And I know my niece's store, she just took 40 of the bowl cozies to sell, and then she wants some more in August. She wants Christmas stuff, so I've got to go make some Christmas stuff. I'm trying to get through the stuff that I bought the material at the thrift store. They had some pretty fall material. So she wants fall and Christmas. So I have to take her that. But then in November, I've already signed up for the Women's Club sale, which I do every year. Well, for the last couple of years, 3 years, I think. And then the radio station invited me last year to be in their show, which is the only 2 shows I did last year. And it's the only 2 that I plan on doing. But now that I have Jenny's store, and then Jenny's asked me to try to make the, they're like food server, the pie or cake server holders, the quilted carriers. So I have a pattern for those. I need to try to make those, but I also need to make some handbags because they sold really good at the the women's center, the women's retreat sale last year. I do want to do those 2 sales. They're good profit makers, I guess you want to say. They're good, money to go to my missions, and that's kind of why I do it. So I have money to spend on my missionary trips to Peru, Colombia, wherever it is that I want to go, North Carolina, whatever place I choose to go to do a little helping out. And then I have, my sock drive that I've been doing for years and years and years. And I do that every year. But that, takes a little bit of my time. That's, once a year the socks come in, 3,000 pairs of socks. In case you're new to this channel and don't know, Bombas, I have connections with Bombas, the sock company, and for every sock they sell, they give to charity, and my name is on the list because I work with a charity called Homeward VA. It's homewardva.org if you want to look it up. But they are an agency that works to support the homeless community. So they have the veterans shelter and the family shelters and the men's shelter, and they support different organizations that work with the homeless or people facing homelessness. So I get 3,000 pairs of socks every summer. Usually comes in the summer. And I have been doing this for years. I was working with an agency down in North Carolina, and they were shipping me socks, random different kinds of socks, but I had to pay for the shipping, which I usually get 2 to 3 boxes at $75 a box, which was okay. I took that out of my own money to pay for that, but then they stopped doing it, and I said, well, let me find another source, and I ended up falling onto Bombas, and I sent them a request, and they honored my request, and now I have to stay on the list, because if you drop off the list, there's a lot of people in line to take your position, and it's hard to get back onto the list. So I make sure every year that I go in and fill out all the paperwork that I need to fill out, and answer all their emails, which isn't a lot. It really isn't a lot of work to do. And I have all of the information for Homeward VA that I put onto the paperwork. And when the socks come in, I tell them that I have the socks. I have a list of all the shelters that I distribute them to. And since I've retired, I've started doing the distribution myself to take the burden off them. And I may take them if they want to have in their facility. I take them a couple hundred pairs of socks, just so that if somebody comes in or there's a need, that they have them there. And then I have extra, and they don't mind that I share those with other communities, so I can share those with Gail down in North Carolina for the community down there. Or I can share them with my community up here now that I've moved up to Spotsylvania area. And there's a need all over. So those are things I'm really wanting to do. So the money that I'm raising, so to speak, from my crafts, which I've tried to find material that's on sale, or somebody gives it to me, or, with the yarn for the hedgehogs, a lot of that is given to me. I don't think I've bought but a few skeins of that, but everybody knows I make hedgehogs, and I donate hedgehogs, and they want to give me yarn, and I am more than happy to take yarn. I give yarn to my mom if it's yarn my mom can use, because I can't knit that fast, and I am focused a lot onto hedgehogs. And because nobody else does those, and I refuse to give up my pattern. Sorry, but that's kind of my thing. And I have some patterns that are mine, and I'm not willing to share them yet. So maybe when I'm too old to knit anymore, I will share my patterns with other people. But I have a pattern I've made up myself. That I showed in a previous video that my grandson asked me for, and I couldn't find a pattern for a Dwibble by Pokemon, And so I created one myself, and it's turned out wonderful. Really did. I'm very proud of myself for that pattern. And I do think he loves the dwibble, whatever a dwibble is. But I may create another one and try to see if it'll sell. Not that I want to get into the dwibble business or the Pokemon business, but it's an original pattern, so we'll see what happens. You won't find another one anywhere else. Not like that, not like mine. Anyway, I'd better eat because I've got to head out to Richmond to get my massage this morning and try to relax a little bit so I can come home and do crafts and get my stash built back up from, I got to get some Christmas stuff made. I've got to get some fall, I'm working on fall, but she took all of the spring stuff, so I need some spring stuff for the January sale. I got plenty of stuff to keep me busy, and I need the eyeglass cases because that project was given to me by the church for the missions trip, the missionary trip to Colombia and Peru, and I will take it on. They're very easy to make, but everything is time consuming. You have to buy the material, cut the material, sew the material, string the eyeglass cases, with the drawstrings, and everything's a little time consuming. Easy, but time consuming. So let me stop talking and eat my breakfast and get on down the road to Richmond, and I will catch you when something exciting is going on. Well, it's been an interesting afternoon. When I got to the massage place, I went to turn my phone off because I leave it off when I go in to get my massage. And I don't know what happened, but it put this AI thing on my phone and it started talking, and I tried when I got home for 2 hours to turn it off, whatever it was. I thought it was like Google Assistant or something. I turned Google Assistant off. I turned everything that I could think of off, and I had to put it down because I was getting such a terrible headache. And then I got to thinking about it, and I went back in and I looked for a voice feature for the deaf or the blind, and actually found it, and it was turned on. So I turned that off, and now it's back to normal, but it gave me such a headache trying to figure that out. I am in the craft room. I did go to TJ Maxx on my way. Actually, TJ Maxx is across from where I get my massage at, and I always go in there when I get my massage because I only get massages like 4 times a year. So I stop over at TJ Maxx to see what they have because I kind of like their clothes, and I'm looking for some more summer dresses, and I'm looking for some sandals because I love summer dresses. I have one on now. I love summer dresses, and some of mine are getting pretty bad. I think I even threw one away because I think had a little like pinhole in it somewhere. But so I found 3 pretty ones, and I can have these for my next cruise, and this is one of them. And they're all kind of made the same at the bottom with the ruffles, which is cool, but they're made in different places, but they have kind of like the same design. But this is like a flower print. This would be nice for the cruise. Also, it's really light for summer, and it gets so hot here that I like having something really light on. And this is another flower print, and I love the way this one looks. It kind of has an India feel to it, and it actually is made in India. But isn't that pretty? And then the last one is sort of made the same. It has that one little ruffle on it, but this is the front. It has the little drawstring, and it's cute, and I like the material. It's nice and comfy. So I got those 3 dresses, and I got home, and I'm working on my crafts. So after I got done the frustration of the phone, I said I'm going to put the phone down and work on my crafts. And then thinking about it, and then I said let me try one more thing, and I went in and it worked. So I've got 4 pot holders in this design that I did today. I remember I did all the pinning and cutting out the padding and everything yesterday. I have 1 pot holder in this design. These are like little grapes. I have 2 pot holders in this like peachy, creamy kind of, I don't know what it's called, print. I'd say psychedelic, but it's not really psychedelic. So I have 2 of those. Let's see. And then I did 1 bowl cozy. I have more of this style with the flowers on it, and I have a tan. So that's kind of neat, but I wasn't really in the mood to do bowl cozies today. I did 14 of the eyeglass cases. I have this many left, 2, 4, 6, 7 left to string. I have the strings already cut. I'm sitting here working on it. And this little guy I finished last night, and I think he's cute as a button. And he's so fuzzy and soft. But that's the one I finished last night. So that's what's going on in the craft room today. Frustration today. But it's all fixed. So Steve's coming home. We're going to have leftovers for dinner and then relax the rest of the night. So that's going to be it. Thank you all for watching. Give the video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not subscribed and you want to. Leave a comment below. And remember, it's all about the adventure. Are phones an adventure? I guess they can be. See you tomorrow. Bye now.